Today we are going to complete our study for the novel A Tale of Two Cities, Chapter 2, The Showmaker. Before we start, what are the two cities that the novel talking about? If you know the answer, raise your hand.
Can I say?
Yes, what's your name? Yes, your name?
Muhammad Mustafa.
Yes, Muhammad, huh?
London and Paris.
Excellent, Muhammad. But if I ask about the countries,
Yes,
huh?
France and England.
France and England. Yes, excellent, Muhammad Mustafa. Thank you so much. Another question. Who was the name that wrote the word of 5 letters plot? What was this character or what was his name?
Can I say
Omar Ahmed?
Omar Ahmed, yes, huh?
Yes, Mr. He was Gasper.
Excellent, Omar. Gasper. Who was the owner of the wine shop? Thanks so much, Omar. Who was the owner of the wine shop? Omar Barak? Okay, Omar. Huh? Monsieur Defarge. Excellent, Omar. What was the name that Monsieur Defarge gave to anyone who joined him in the wine shop? The name that they gave to be as to join the revolution.
Can I say?
Who?
Who's prophet?
Yusuf Rafat, yes.
Jacques.
Jacques, yes, excellent, yes. Well done, Yusuf Rafat. What was the name of Dr. Manet's daughter? What is the name of Dr. Manet's daughter? Yusuf Walid, huh?
So can I say?
Yusuf Walid, please, huh?
Yes, Mr.
What was what was the name or what is the name of Dr. Manet's daughter? Yusuf, huh? Yusuf,
So can I say Amjad?
give him the chance, please.
Okay.
For the one who has an echo sound, mute yourself, please. Yusuf Wali, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Yes.
Yes, yes, Yusuf. What is the name of Dr. Manet's daughter? Huh? He's called what? Yusuf, can you hear me?
Yes, Mr.
Yes, do you remember her name?
Mr. Can I say?
Mr. Hamada, can I say?
Can I say?
Okay, I'm good. I'm
good.
good, huh? I'm good, huh?
Lucy.
Lucy, yes, Lucy Manet. Okay, Yusuf Walid, thanks so much.
Yes.
I'm good. Yusuf Yusuf Rami. Yusuf Rami. The woman who take care of Lucy and dealt with her as her mother. What was her name?
It was Mrs. Cross.
Excellent, Yusuf Rami. Thank you so much. Today we are going, I'd like to thank you all of you. Today we are going to complete our study for the novel Chapter 2, The Showmaker. As we remember together, Mr. Jarvis Lorry told Lucy that her father is still alive. So they decided to travel to Paris to bring her father and take him to live with her in England. When they asked him about his name, what was his answer? Who can remind me?
Mr. Can I answer?
Mr. Can I answer myself?
Why is okay? Huh?
Mr. The name of the number of the prison he was in.
The number? What was his number?
105.
Yes. So his answer, if when they asked him about his name, he said 105 North Tower. 105 North Tower. And let's complete. Sorry for this part. They went to Dr. Manet, and they tried to take him to live with them or with Lucy in England. We know what happened there when we saw this part in the video. Do you remember? Do you remember or no?
Is the question?
No, I'm asking you. You remember what happened when they went to Dr. Manet? Remember or no?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. For this part of chapter 2, we have some main points about that are related to this chapter. Mr. Lorry and Lucy decided to travel to Paris to search for Dr. Manet, Lucy's father. Dr. Manet couldn't remember anything about his previous life, and we know that he started work as a shoemaker. Mr. Lorry tried to remind him of his name, but Dr. Manet's answer was 105 North Tower. He stated the name of the room where he was set in the prison of. What was the name of the prison? Huh? What was the name of the prison? Who can say?
Bastille.
Excellent. Yes, Bastille, the prison of Bastille. When Dr. Yes, Mr.
When we received the Nobel
Book?
the novel in the novel. Receive it يا عمر.
Novel what? Quiz?
The novel story, the book story.
The book?
Receive it.
This with the school, not with me. Okay? You can arrange with the school and ask them.
Could you send it the what of the group?
Yes, everything that you want, I send on the group. Don't worry. Okay? Can you complete this?
Yes.
Yes. We said when they visited Dr. Bennett, he was making shoes. When Dr. Bennett was asked about his name, as we said, his answer was 105 North Tower, the name of presence room. He has a blanket string around his neck that had a folded piece of cloth at the end of it. In this part of cloth or piece of cloth, there is a quantity of small hair, or you can say a small quantity of hair. This hair belongs to Lucy Manette. Dr. Manette started to remember his daughter when he saw her golden hair, but at first he imagined that she is the daughter of the prison's guard. Okay? Then he started to remember when he saw this piece of hair and he said, they are the same. If you remember this video, I repeat this video again with you. Mr. Lorry and Lucy decided to take Dr. Manette to England to live there with Lucy. Any question for this part of chapter 2 in general? Do you have any question?
Mr. Did you say what is the prison name?
The best part?
What is the prison name?
Again?
What is the name of the prison?
Prison?
Yes.
Bastille. Okay. Now I share with you the part of the video that will make you to understand more. Then we are going to listen for the book. And after that, we are going to read the main idea together. Okay, my dear?
Yes.
Mister,
Okay, Mr.
Mister,
Yes,
if you
mister.
want, share the video link and rewatch it because from you the quality isn't so good.
Okay, so I repeat this video again, okay?
There is a force of attraction between particles in a solid state. Want to break solid state, you need to use force. And amount of force to break down the.
It was the... And oh, Miss Lucy, it is in this house. Oh.
You know, Miss.
I will need and
Thank you, sir.
So the part that Mr. Lorry told Lucy that her father is still alive, this part is in chapter 2. So let's watch and listen.
Good morning to you, sir. I am Jarvis Lorry of Tellson's Bank. I am looking for a young lady, Miss Lucy Minette. Can you tell me where?
There, sir.
I beg your pardon.
There, sir. Directly behind you. taking tea with her companion.
Miss Lucy?
Mr. Lorry. Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
You know Miss Pross, don't
Oh,
you?
a pleasure, ma'am. As always. Mm.
What is this all about, Mr. Lorry? The letter said it was of the utmost importance.
Quite true. Although I must confess it's such an astounding revelation that indeed, I hardly know how to tell you.
Is it something so dreadful?
On the contrary, it's wonderful news. You were too young to remember, of course, your father being thrown into prison. At that time, any French nobleman could imprison any French citizen with no questions asked.
Does this concern my father's estate?
No, not his estate. He left you enough to live comfortably, as we both know. Oh, Miss Lucy.
Courage, Mr. Lorry.
Your father, my dear child, your father has been found.
What?
Alive. He was left to die in prison. He did not die.
Where is he?
He's been taken to the house of an old servant of his in Paris, a man by the name of Defarge. It is in this house, above a wine shop, that we can find him. Will you be able to leave with me on the packet boat tomorrow? Oh, Miss Lucy.
Good heavens, man, look what you've done. Did you have to frighten the child to death? What sort of a banker are you? Fetch the vinegar.
What are you doing? Do you want to go to a mag hospital? Move on.
The wine's outside. There was an accident. Did you hear me?
Yeah, here.
I'll try to move forward as the time
Mr. Lorry?
started to
Indeed.
pass.
The lodging you wish to see is on the second floor. If
Okay.
you will come with me. Good day, Dr. Manet. Still hard at work, I see.
Yes, I am working.
May I let in a little more light, Doctor? Doctor, you have visitors.
What is that?
There is someone here to see you. Tell this gentleman what kind of shoes you make.
The shoes?
Can you describe the shoes for this gentleman?
They are ladies' shoes.
And the maker's name?
Name? You ask my name.
Yes.
105 North Tower.
Sir, do you not remember me?
You are the jailer's daughter.
No.
are you? I don't. You see, it's the same. How can this be? Just so long ago when they came to take me away, we held each other. My little girl, she was in my arms. Then when I arrived at the prison, I found these on my sleeve, and I've kept them ever since. How is this? Was it you?
No, please.
It cannot be.
We've come to take you away with us. We've come to help you. Please trust us, my dear. Please trust me. Oh, my dear, please trust me. Thank God I've found you. I've found you again.
My tools.
What? What's that?
He wants his tools to make the shoes.
Oh.
Come on with Doctor. I shall be right back.
Shall we, Doctor?
That's all for chapter 2. Now we are going to listen for the track of the book. Just pay attention and listen.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, my dear.
Where can I see this movie?
Again? Full movie? You mean the full movie? Full movie?
Yeah.
On YouTube, you can find it. On YouTube.
Mister, there is a CD came with the novel book.
This
is the movie.
CD for reading, okay? Audio only. This audio, not for the video of the story, okay? But this movie, full movie, you find it on the YouTube, okay?
Yes.
But as we know, I try to help you by cutting this video because in the video there are some details that are not included in the story. Okay, so I try to select only the part that is related to the story to be able to help you to understand more. Okay.
Mister, this is Lucy's father.
Yes, this is Lucy's father, Dr. Manet. Okay. Now I share with you this page for the book. You don't have the book?
No, we haven't.
You have? Okay. Okay, you can listen and just pay attention to me. If I ask you to highlight for any part, please highlight with me, okay? Now I play the track with you. No, when can I open the track with you? If you have a solid substance, I make mute for me to be able to listen.
Chapter 2. The Shoemaker. Good day, said Monsieur Defarge, looking down at the white head. The white head was raised for a moment. Then a faint voice replied, Good day.
So the mic is closed.
You are still hard at work, I see.
Yes, what?
After a long silence, the head was lifted again for a moment, and the...
Yes, my dear, what's the problem? Yes. Can you hear? Can you listen?
Mister, sometimes your sound
Yes.
is lagging. Sometimes.
Because of the internet, I'm really sorry for this problem, but I will solve it tomorrow. As I have I arrived yesterday to Jordan, so let me solve this problem today, inshallah. Okay. Just listen, please.
Chapter 2.
Right. So
The Shoemaker.
first state we have ice.
Good day,
Yeah.
said Monsieur Defarge,
Then
looking down at the white head.
second state we have wood.
The white head was raised for a moment. Then a faint voice.
So what was
We
yes,
couldn't hear anything.
we didn't
Mister, we couldn't hear anything.
you couldn't hear? Sorry, the sound wasn't sharing. Okay, my dear, I'll read this part again. That is in front of you, okay?
Asked Mr. Lorry. My name 105 North Tower. What? Is that all? 105 North Tower.
So what was Dr. Minut's reply when Mr. Lorry asked him about his name?
105 North Tower.
Yes, excellent. 105 North Tower. Let's complete listening.
But you are not a shoemaker by trade, are you? Asked Mr. Lorry. The old man paused for a while. No, he said. I am not a shoemaker by trade. I landed in prison. They gave me permission to learn. Mr. Lorry looked steadily into his face. Dr. Manette, don't you remember me? The shoe dropped to the ground. The old man looked in wonder at his questioner.
We have a question that is, who said to whom? I am not a shoemaker by trade. I learned it in prison. They gave me permission to learn. Who said these words and to whom? Who said these
Dr.
words?
Manette to Mr. Lorry.
Yes, Dr.
Mr.
Manette
Lorry.
to Mr. Lorry.
Lorry.
Yes, let's complete listening. Thanks so much, Brady.
Dr. Manette, don't you remember Monsieur Defarge here? Don't you remember Jarvis Lorry, the old banker? The prisoner of many years looked from one to the other. A look of intelligence seemed to come over his face. Then it disappeared again. Darkness clouded his mind. He picked up the shoe and continued his work. Slowly, very slowly, Lucy drew near the bench of the shoemaker. She stood beside him as he bent over his work. He dropped his knife, bent down to pick it up, and caught sight of her dress. He looked at her closely. and breathed heavily. The two men were afraid. He had the knife in his hand, and she was very near him. But she showed no sign of fear.
Who are you? Are you the prison guard's daughter?
No, she whispered.
Who are you?
She could not speak, but she sat down beside him on the bench. He moved away from her, but she laid her hand on his arm. He dropped his knife and sat looking at her. Her golden hair lay in curls on her shoulders. Nervously, he put out his hand to touch it. Then he breathed deeply and went on with his shoemaking. Again, the old man stopped. He touched Lucy's hair once more and looked closely at it.
It is the same,
he said.
But how can it be?
He put his hand to his neck and took off a blackened string that had a folded piece of cloth at the end of it. He opened this carefully on his knee. It contained a small quantity of hair. Hairs which he had carefully saved long, long ago. He took her hair in his hand again.
It is the same. But how can it be? She laid her head upon my shoulder that night when I was called out. And when I was brought to the North Tower, I found these hairs on my coat.
He turned to her with frightening suddenness, but she sat perfectly still, and when Defarge and Mr. Lorry wanted to come to her help, only said, "I beg you, gentlemen, do not come near us. Do not speak. Do not move."
Whose voice is that?
He cried.
What is your name?
"Oh, sir, at another time you shall hear my name, and who my mother was, and who my father. But I cannot tell you now, and I cannot tell you here. All that I can tell you is that I love you, and that I beg you to kiss me." She put her arm round his neck and held his head to her breast, as if he were a child.
Thank God your long sorrow is over. From here we are going to England, to be at peace and at rest. 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 Give thanks to God who has brought you through so much suffering into peace at last.
For a long time he remained with her arm around him. Then he slipped softly to the floor. A great calm had followed the storm. He slept as peacefully as a child. Mr. Lorry bent over the sleeping man. "We must take him away now, immediately."
But is he fit for the journey?
said Lucy.
Sorry, grade 8, our session finished. Okay, you can complete reading for this part, but grade 8, can you hear me?
Yes.
As our session finished, do you have any question for this chapter?
No.
Okay, I'll give those now for Dr. Lemis, okay? Mrs. Lemis, you have those now.
Thank you, Mister.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, boys.
Good
Good afternoon, teacher.
Teacher.
Teacher,